All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's Strength and Power. So a lot of people have been requesting that I make a video on Lex Luger. Now, I've made a lot of videos on past wrestlers and gave my opinion on whether or not I thought they could have been successful as bodybuilders. And a lot of people were requesting a similar video on the wrestler Lex Luger, aka Lawrence Foal. So this guy is still alive. He's 58 years old, but he does not look very well at age 58. He looks very skinny, very emaciated, and he almost looks kind of sick if you look at some recent photos of him. So obviously he was a wrestler, but the main thing that I want to talk about, since a lot of people are asking me to make a would he be a good bodybuilder video, the first thing I have to address is the fact that he kind of was a bodybuilder for a little bit. So I'll get to that later. So he is best known for his stints in the NWA, the WCW, and the WWF. He's a two-time WCW heavyweight champ and a five-time WCW/NWA United States champion. And he never won the championship in the WWF, but he was always a contender. So he joined the WWF initially by joining the WBF, which I just made a video about a day or two ago, which was Vince McMahon's bodybuilding federation that he started in the early 90s. So initially, Vince McMahon was trying to get into the business of promoting professional bodybuilding in a way that's very similar to how he promoted pro wrestling. He wanted the bodybuilders to be in costumes. He wanted them to have characters. He wanted them to have personalities. He wanted it to be a show and a spectator sport. So Vince McMahon started the WBF and had his first championship in 1991. So initially, Lex Luger was signed on as a WBF body star. So that's what Vince McMahon called his bodybuilders, were body stars. And initially, that's what Lex Luger was signed on as. So Lex Luger was signed up to compete at the second annual WBF championships in 1992. But unfortunately, Lex Luger was in a motorcycle accident, and he was not able to compete in that show. And then by the time Lex Luger had recovered from that motorcycle accident, the WBF was already disbanded and had already failed. So Lex Luger was actually technically a bodybuilder because he was technically signed to Vince McMahon's Body Star label, and was kind of scheduled to compete in that 1992 competition. So that's important to note. So that was kind of his foot in the door to the WWF, because once the WBF thing didn't really work out, he went on to compete in the WWF as a pro wrestler. So really a lot of the things that people noticed about Lex Luger and wanted me to make a video about was really his aesthetics and the way he was always really ripped and conditioned. So that was the main two things that people wanted me to mention. So I think, yeah, maybe as a bodybuilder, especially during those early 90s eras, he may have been able to do something with his conditioning, with his aesthetics, with the body that he had. But overall, I don't think he had the size to really be a top threat to any bodybuilding stage. So overall, maybe he would have done very well in the NPC if he were competing as an amateur. But really, I just don't think he had the size or really the muscularity to compete on the biggest level of bodybuilding, even though he was technically signed to the WBF. But the WBF ended up to be kind of a joke anyway. So to answer the question, do I think Lex Luger could have been a successful bodybuilder? Probably not. He probably could have been a top level, maybe NPC competitor at that time. But if he had that physique today in the NPC, he would not do very well at all. So that's my opinion on Lex Luger and whether or not I think he could have become a successful bodybuilder. So please give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think about Lex Luger in the comment section below. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.